Hello everybody, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 2 of All the Mod 6 to the Skies. We're going to get a lot done with this episode, or we're going to get a lot done in this episode. I can feel it. First things first, let's get using our power. So I made this energizing rod and energizing orb. This is a crafting mechanic in the power mod. They're very simple recipes. You can literally just craft them up in a very similar manner as the magmator over here. It uses basically all the same things. In fact, most of the things in this mod use the exact same things, but this thing is able to turn things that you put into it into other things, as most machines would. The main thing we want right now is some energizing steel, and that uses 10,000 RF, an iron ingot, and some gold to make 2 of them. And as you can see, it is now done. And at 50 RF per tick, which is what this basic energizing rod does, it doesn't take very long at all, because that would be, what, 400 RF per second? Yeah, it doesn't take very long at all. For now, I've only made 8 because that's exactly how many are required to make the next tier magmator. So I need 2 of those, and then I can turn those into 4 of these, and then I believe I can... Oh wait, no, I need 5 more. Well, back to crafting. I did need 1 more steel than 8. I needed 9, but I accidentally made too many capacitors because I guess I don't know how to count. But I should be able to shove this thing right here, and it should fill with lava again, and it should begin producing some RF, right? Oh, it's competing for lava with this stone barrel right here, so it might have some issues. And it's trying to fill this thing back up. Okay, it already has filled that thing back up, and it produces fairly quickly. This will eventually back stuff, which will be fine, but I'm making obsidian with the lava with water on top of the barrel. That's how you make obsidian in a skyblock pack, and I need this for void upgrades for the drawers. And in fact, these are the last 2 void upgrades I need, actually. The reason I'm putting void upgrades in here is because we are eventually going to completely automate the production of like these ore pieces, and we don't want to back stuff one thing and then start throwing it on the ground. That would be a bad issue. So I'd rather waste resources and like max upgrade these with storage upgrades eventually than, lag out my world. Next, let's make a singular diamond mesh, and I'm going to isolate this thing just for a little bit because I want to specifically sift on this diamond mesh because I want to try and get some osmium from it. And I think osmium comes from gravel, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, I looked it up. It comes from gravel. I'm going to do my best and try and get a couple pieces of osmium, and then we can begin creating our first mechanism machines. Okay, I sifted 2 stacks, and I only got 14 pieces. It is fairly rare, but it's not terribly rare. So what I should be able to do is this, and just kind of smelt it in here. Also, I took a look at this config right here. I didn't realize this thing can auto output and auto input. I made the hoppers because I'm not used to standard furnaces having this compatibility, but this is really cool. Okay, our first mechanism machine, the metallurgic not the metallurgic confuser, the metallurgic infuser. It only uses, I think, like 20 RF right now, so it's pretty cheap to use. We are going to need a little bit of, wait, no, we're going to need some coal and a little bit of iron. Let's try and make 24 iron for the time being. There is, in the metallurgic infuser, there is a thing that something else is getting shoved into. That's how I like to think of it. So we're taking our iron right here, and we're shoving coal into it, and that will create enriched iron for us. And I believe it uses 10 or 20 millibuckets. Uses 10. Okay, and then the mechanism way of making iron uses enriched iron in the metallurgic infuser again with more coal, and it turns into steel dust, and then you just smelt it. Okay, we have some steel now, and first mechanism machine, or not first mechanism, first real mechanism machine that uses mechanism components, the enrichment chamber. So this thing is quite cool, and it's actually the way that we're going to be doing ore doubling for the time being. If you put some osmium ore chunks in here, it will run and turn it into, if I can find it up in here, into 2. And the next machine we can make is the energized smelter. I'm going to put this right next to this, so if something goes in here, let's say, what can we do? How about a little bit of iron? I take this, turn it into a chunk, it goes into here, it does its enriching, and then once it's done, it turns into iron dust, and it should, I did tell you to auto-eject, didn't I? I did, but you're not doing it. Well, that's obnoxious. Oh, wait, that's because you have to set this to input. Okay, perfect. And then, once this is done smelting, we can just have it output to a couple of chests for the time being, and I do need to tell you to auto-eject, and it goes in there. Eventually, I think I'm going to make a drawer wall here as well, and we'll have all of our ingots being auto-processed in these 2 guys. However, these guys are a little bit slow. Let's make them somewhat faster. We can upgrade Mekanism machines by making tier installers, and these are 3 basic tier installers that will upgrade the machines a single tier, so we'll go from the normal tier to a factory tier. So that will make all of these machines effectively work at 3 times as fast. They don't use any more power, but they also don't use any less power per operation. So I can run a enrichment factory at 3 times the speed, but it also will suck 3 times the power. So if I shove this in here, it will not spread out because it doesn't have auto sort on. I do want auto sort on, so it'll run 3 recipes at a time. And as you can see, it's now using 60 RF per tick instead of just using, sorry about that, instead of using 20. And I also want to auto sort this one, and we'll begin producing ingots very quickly. Okay, I've gathered up all of the stuff that we need for 2 auto heavy sieves. Let's check their power consumption. 120 FE per tick, so I can run one of these at full uptime. But it does need a mesh, so I can take one of these meshes, just like that, and I need to give it compressed something. Let's give it a stack of compressed gravel and see how fast it works. Oh, that's actually incredibly quick. Much faster than I expected. Alright, so I've moved the auto sieves over here and hooked them up to power by running a cable underneath the base just a little bit to make it slightly cleaner. I mean, our base isn't pretty, but it's never going to look pretty it's never going to look pretty anyways. So I need to give each of these guys a diamond mesh sieve, and I do want to check something. Is this going to be able to keep up? I don't think it will. 4 items every second? No chance. No chance at all. Well, maybe. Hold on. Do a bunch. Okay. After a stack of testing, I'm fairly confident in the long run this thing is going to get jammed up, so we need to upgrade the pipe slightly. However, in the short run, I'm going to make this guy work on a stack of dust so we can get a bunch of redstone and other stuff that we need. How much osmium did that get me? Basically none. I am going to process this really quickly, though. Oh, it got stuck in the weird inventory thing that happens sometimes, because I do need a couple more pieces of osmium before I move on. And I did put this chest here, so I should just be able to shove a bunch of ores in here and process them. Okay, so I did make 2 improved pipe upgrades. I was curious how these things were going to work. I was expecting to have to upgrade each pipe individually, but it looks like you just upgrade the pipe that's connected to something. As you can see, this one says transferring 16 items every 10 ticks, so that's, I believe, 8 times as fast as it was before. And that one is also now 8 times as fast as it was before, and we should have no issues now. Okay, it's the next day, and I've done a little bit of work. I actually finished my workout last night, and I was too tired to record, so I just played for a little bit and did some resource collection. I also set up this thing here, which I will now explain because it looks a little bit crazy. Trust me, it's not. So, right here, we have a cobblegen. We have 2 cobblegen tier 5s. This is as high as it goes, and that should produce enough cobblestone that it will feed this entire system. This row is going to be 3 auto hammers that are going to shove into here, this compacting drawer, and we will use auto hammers to turn compressed cobblestone into gravel, and then this compacting drawer will compact it into compressed gravel. This compressed gravel will go into here, and it will be sieved by our guy Zeke the Geek, and then that will be sent into a controller slave and into the drawer system right here. So we will begin automatically collecting all of the resources from gravel, and then the same thing will happen here. The gravel needs to be hammered down again, so it'll get shoved into more auto hammers, and then shoved into this drawer, sent over here to this guy, and then once again to get to dust. Those are all sending in a drawer controller slaves. Luckily, this is within 12 blocks, so we don't need to move the actual control over there at all. The reason I'm doing 3 here, 2 here, and 1 here is because I believe that will keep the ratio good enough that we'll be able to like run all 3 of these at full uptime. So I did collect enough stuff to make the first 3 auto compressed hammers because they require compressed diamonds. They're pretty expensive, but if we can get gravel fully automated and up and running, we will begin collecting diamonds automatically, so that will become less of an issue. But I need 27 hammers here, and I need to compress them. Apparently I don't have enough space for it. Bye-bye, you things. And then I can just do this. Okay, perfect. There's auto compressed hammer number 1, and I should be able to make all 3 right now without any issue. And I can put these things that I threw on the ground back in the chest up here. So let's go shove these guys over here and see if they begin working, and check how much power they use, because I think we're going to need to up our power production. They are definitely working. They work a little bit slower, and they consume 120 RF per tick. Okay, so that is too much, and it looks like these things are a little bit slow, so I'll probably put an extraction upgrade on this guy. Not to worry, I already thought about this and made a bunch of Mekanism materials. So let's make a bunch of these wind generators, put them up in the sky, and have them produce a ton of power for us. And I should probably get a little bit of gold processing because I think this is going to use a lot of gold. I did also make a couple of upgrades for these. They're pretty cheap to make. It just makes these things run more on parallel because this is producing 2 outputs and this can only do 1 at a time. And at the normal upgrade tier, this thing runs at the same speed as this thing. So that's not very good. But, you know, we should be good. For now, I think I'm just going to make 8 of these. I believe they produce a couple hundred RF per tick per at like 100, I think 128 might be their maximum height. Like it doesn't get any better if you put them any higher than that. But this might be a good couple thousand RF per tick production. I do need probably to make some ladders. So let me do that and we can throw these up in the sky. Before I go way up in the sky, you may have also noticed that I've switched over to using advanced universal cables. These are actually really cheap, just a little bit of steel, a little bit of redstone, and this is like trivially easy to create. The power cables are nice, like I like them. However, they don't appear to be solid blocks. There's something you can walk directly through them. I can demonstrate that if I grab some. So if I make a little line like this, I can quite literally walk through the cables, which is really weird to me because I'm used to be able to, I don't know if that's a bug. I'm used to being able to jump on cables. I've fallen off the map a couple of times because I've tried to jump on these cables and fallen directly through them. Anyways, time to go up in the air. I'm going to use 64 of these and maybe a stack of cobblestone blocks. Okay, so we're up in the sky. As you can see in the top right, we're right at 128, and I believe you can just place them like that. And let's see, how much is this thing producing? 102, it looks like. That's not bad. I will take that. That almost single-handedly doubles my energy production. And I don't believe they interact with each other, so you can literally put them right next to each other, just like this. And there we go. We now produce, what, 800 more RF per tick? That should be enough to run this system over here. Maybe not quite. I might need to make 8 more, but for now, it should be quite good. And I have no way to get down, so let's try and jump in the water. I don't know if this is going to work. Hey, I did it. Okay, now we can afford to run these at full uptime, so let's go ahead and start sending compressed gravel into our sieve guy. And I can run this thing at full uptime too. It might be a little too fast. I think I'm going to need to put hammers in here, but I believe once we run this for a little while, it will begin producing diamonds much faster than we can go through a hammer in this thing. So we could probably set up an auto crafting system for hammers to just shove them in there as soon as we have applied energistics, but for now, we might just have to do it on our own. But that should be complete automation of all of the resources that the compressed gravel makes. And I've been watching this for a moment. I think 3 hammers exactly keeps up with one of these things without any upgrades. So if we put hammers in here, just like that, they might have to be diamond hammers. We will be moving very quickly. Okay, I have done a little bit of looking, and it appears as though we're going to have exactly one issue in getting into applied energistics, and that's actually slime. I would either have to make a whole mob farm for slime pearls, which I don't particularly want to do right now. Actually, this only drops from slimes. We don't have loot bags in this pack, so that wouldn't even help. Or I need to be able to transform cactus into slime. So let's get into Botania a little bit. And I have blaze powder, right? I can just compress this. Yeah, okay. The first thing we need for Botania is some floral fertilizer. And this recipe gives you 3 now? I could have sworn it only gave you 1, but hey, I will take what I can get. We need to use this on some grass or dirt in order to get a bunch of flowers. I believe there are 16 kinds in total, so hopefully we can snag one of each, and from then we will be able to duplicate them. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Okay, I went ahead and counted. This is all 16, and we can convert these directly to their petal version because we will never need these flowers again, actually, unless something has changed in Botania between 1.12 and 1.16. I think storage drawers has some issues in this version because I had 16. I counted them, and it ate one of them as I put it in the drawer. So now I have 15. I don't believe it's a super necessary color, so we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and duplicate some of these petals. So what you can do is you can just literally place them on the ground. You can barely see them, but they are there, and then you use bone meal on them to grow them to their tall version. You can't break these by themselves. You do need a pair of shears. I believe this is a normal recipe for shears, and you can just, vein mine them, and it's very loud. But these each duplicate into 4 more, so it's very much exponential growth. I only need white flowers right now, so I think this should be enough for the time being. The first crafting mechanic we're going to use in Botania is the Petal Apothecary, and that ate one of my flowers because the crafting recipe uses a flower. Yeah, it took one of the white ones. And this thing is pretty simple. Let's actually not put it here. Let's put it next to the water source because it does need water. Okay, I have a bucket, and you literally just fill it with the bucket. There are multiple ways to fill this thing. You can't take the water out anymore, which is actually a very nice addition. You used to be able to. There's really no reason you'd ever want to, you just were able to. So now what we need to do is we need to craft a pure daisy. That is the second crafting mechanic in Botania. And the way you do this is throwing 4 white petals in the Petal Apothecary, and you grab a wheat seed, or I believe any type of seed, and toss it on top. That will complete the craft and use up the water. So you can put more water in, toss more petals in, and make a second one. I like to make 2 of these because there are 2 things that can be made with this, or 2 useful things that can be made with this: the living rock and living wood. We're gonna need a place to do Botania, so let's make a place to do that. And my favorite way to expand this platform once we've made a couple of sections is to take a building gadget. This is a Direwolf 20's mod, actually. It's very helpful, very useful. And we can charge this thing up in the Power reactor thing. It definitely doesn't have to be fully charged. So what we can do is we can take one of these sections. Let's not do this one. Let's do this one over here. Starting right here. Let's copy this corner right here. Yep, and then go all the way over here and copy this corner. Okay, perfect. And now we can Wait, what's the key? Okay, let me find the keys for this. The key was all jammed up, but I set it to V, so now we can change from copy mode to paste mode. And now if we go, does it not give us an overlay? Or is the overlay, it should give us an overlay, should it not? Okay, I managed to get it to work. I believe the issue was you have to shift right click and then right click to copy the area, but I don't really know. And now I should just be able to right click to paste all of the blocks except for the ones that I don't have. And wait, oh, this version of building gadgets I think can copy tile entities, which is really useful, but not something I needed right now. I'm just throwing these universal cables into the void now. Okay, there we go. Now our platform is quite large. 3 by 3 chunks, actually. It's not bad. I just need to fill in a couple of gaps here that I ran out of blocks for. The building gadget will still attempt to place as many blocks as possible if you use it, even if you don't have the ability to complete everything. So that's what happened there. Also, these Pharaoh Flare Lanterns are really cool, so I'm going to use these for light sources instead of torches, and I'm actually going to remove all these torches. I believe these things cover a 16 by 16 area, so I think placing one in the center of each chunk is good enough to light up the entire base. It's only 9 torches, but it says it places invisible lights, so it places a bunch of torches all around the area that it's in, or the area that it's covered, I guess. Now that we have some space, let's go ahead and throw Botania out the back here. I think I'm going to have lines of power running all along this way to like put our machines and our applied energetic system on. However, we're not going to, I don't think we're going to run any power back here. So we can do a bunch of magic stuff back here. Like I mentioned a little bit ago, the Pure Daisy is the next important crafting mechanic in Botania. So you have to place them on dirt. You can turn these into floating versions, but we don't have the resources set up to do that yet. And I like to do it this way. I'll be back in a moment. I like to set these guys up in a way that you can just builder's wand the next stuff on. That helps for batch automation. Eventually, we will probably fully automate this process just because it's not all that hard to do once you get into like applied energistics and all that, or integrated dynamics, or whatever you want to do it with. But with this setup right here, we can just builder's wand that, and as you can see, little particles come, and these will eventually transform into living wood and living rock and living wood respectively. Some packs change the material you use for this process, but this is standard Botania all the way right here. This process right here takes exactly a minute, and then you can just vein mine it and throw some more down. I don't have an axe in my inventory, so I'm going to break this with my pickaxe, but you know, that's just how it goes. And I don't plan on making an axe. So, next step in Botania is to make some mana producing flowers, and the one I usually like to go with is the Endo Flame. This thing generates mana incredibly slowly, but it's also incredibly cheap, and it just uses something we have completely and fully automated, which is the coal over here. Or at least I think this comes from gravel. Yes, it does come from gravel. So we have basically free mana generation. The recipe for this thing is 2 of the brown, 1 red, 1 gray, and toss a seed in there. And there we go. I'm going to make 8 of these guys because they're pretty slow. These flowers also need to be placed on dirt, just like that, and we need to make a couple of more things. I think I'm going to manually throw fuel on these guys right now because I don't feel like setting up a system for it, and we don't need a lot of mana right now. But we do need to make a mana spreader and a mana pool. I believe these are the basic recipes, so I think I just need 1 petal. Spreader. Let me see if I remember this. I think it's like that, and then maybe a piece of glowstone. Is this? This might be completely wrong. No. Give me the correct recipe, please. Oh, I was so close. Okay, perfect. Got that. And I also need a mana pool, just like that. So we can come over here, place down the mana spreader, place down the mana pool, and I do need one more thing. I need a wand for just Botania. This is Botania's wrench, essentially. It needs that and 2 little leaves on the side, and you can see a lot more information about these things. What I like to do, or what we need to do right now, is link the mana spreader to the mana pool. And as you can see, there's a little X next to the mana spreader sign on the endo flame. We need to link all of these together. And instead of doing that, I'm just gonna break them and replace them because they should automatically link to the closest mana spreader. Yep, there's a little check mark now. So we can begin producing mana. Here is, let's just throw 8 down for now. They'll each take up 1 piece of fuel, as you can see, and mana starts getting spread into here. We can check and see if this thing is getting saturated by right-clicking on it, and it looks like it's fine. And this thing is starting to fill up very slowly. This thing holds an incredible amount of mana. I believe it's like 1,000,000 units or something like that, and these things produce like 1 a second. I am back from class. Every once in a while, I'm in quarantine right now, actually, so I have class completely online, but every once in a while, I'd throw a stack of coal on here, and we have a fair bit of mana. That's actually a lot of crafting. So, the next step in Botania is to make the 3rd crafting mechanic. Well, I guess this is the 3rd crafting mechanic. So, the 4th crafting mechanic. So for the mana pool, you can just throw stuff in it and it turns into other stuff, like the mana diamond. And then the next step is to make a runic altar, which is a little bit of living rock and a mana diamond or a mana pearl. We don't have any ender pearls, so this is how we're going to do it. This thing needs to be blasted with mana when it's crafting, so we do need another mana spreader. However, I did notice in the quests over here, Magical Adventures, it gives us a mana spreader for completing the mana pool quest, which means I don't have to make another one. This thing also needs to be linked. Shift right click. Apparently it just shoots straight anyways, and we can craft things on this. Before we go any further into Botania and use the runic altar and any stuff related to that, we do need to go back to tech just a little bit. I need an enrichment chamber, and I will probably upgrade this to a factory if I can. Can I just, oh, I literally can just make one. Okay, you're very good now, and I need to make a couple of blaze rods because we need to make this alchemy catalyst to turn cactus into slime. I'm not going to be able to find, oh no, there's the recipe. See, alchemy catalyst, cactus, slime. This enriching factory can turn blaze rods into blaze powder into blaze rods, which are necessary to make the brewing stands that we need for the alchemy catalyst. And it looks like I do actually need an ender pearl. Do I have any cheaty ways to get ender pearls? Sieving endstone. Before I am able to do anything, I do need at least 1 ender pearl. So I think I'm going to take away these light sources and let some stuff spawn over here. So hopefully we can try and get an enderman and then kill it. Wait, it appears I have lied. We don't need anything, really. We just need, I think, 4 or 5 pieces of endstone, and we can make another one of those generators, like with the netherrack over there. So let me grab a couple pieces, and I will do that. This also has a lava recipe. Just put a little bit of glowstone in lava, and it turns into endstone. Let's see if we get lucky. I want an ender pearl, and I want a chorus fruit. Oh my goodness, we got both of them. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Well, I actually wanted a chorus flower. This can be turned... I can't turn this directly into chorus fruit. I can plant it in a botany pot, though. Okay, there's the botany plot, and this thing takes 3 minutes to grow, which is a little bit obnoxious. But we don't really have to worry about that right now. We can make the 1 mana pearl that we need. These are done. I have a little bit of cobblestone in here, right? Somewhere in here. Yep. Now I can make these 2 bad boys. 1, 2, and hopefully the alchemy catalyst. Okay, perfect. So this thing can go directly below your mana pool, and it changes the type of recipes that you can do. We do actually need cactus to throw cactus in the thing, so I got another cactus seed, and it lives over there now until it grows a little bit. And this thing grew one time, so I got like 10 cores from it. I thought I was going to get one, which is not the greatest, but now we have some purple blocks, which we can just shove directly over here. Just place the purple block like that, place the pedestal on top of it, give it the cobblestone generator upgrade, and it begins making endstone for us. Do I have another compacting drawer? I do now, and place that guy right there, and I believe I just need to item pipe just like that, and wrench it. And it begins compacting. Okay, we need to also lock this drawer with a drawer key, and all is good. And just like that, we have infinite endstone. Very fast infinite endstone too. Anyway, I just checked the length of this recording, and I think we're a little bit long already, based on what I've been doing for clip-wise recently. So we'll come back next time. Hopefully this cactus will have grown a few times, and I can expand the farm, and we can begin creating slime readily and easily. Wait, is there actually... I actually do want to check really quickly. I make cactus. Is there a cactus doubling recipe? There is not, but that's okay. I could do a phytogenic insulator or a garden cloche eventually. I just need to get into those mods. We'll come back next time. We'll get applied energistics up. We'll probably get into Mekanism a little bit more, and we'll begin automating things. We'll probably do a little bit more Botania too, and automate the mana generation, because we will probably need a fair bit of it. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, maybe leave a like or something. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.